हेलो फ्रेंड्स, केजी क्लासेस में आपका स्वागत है। आज हम आपको लाइफ एंड क्रोनोलॉजी ऑफ चार्ल्स लैम्स के बारे में बताएंगे। लाइफ चार्ल्स लैम द सेवेंथ एंड द यंगेस्ट चाइल्ड ऑफ हिज पेरेंट्स was born on 10 February 1775 in London. His father John Lamb was a confidential clerk to Samuel Salt, a venture of the Inner Temple. His mother was Elizabeth Field, a daughter of the old lady who acted as a housekeeper at Black Swan in Hertfordshire, the country seat of the Plumer family. Lamb's education began in the neighborhood under the care of one Mr. William Bird, but later, under the influence of Salt, he was sent to Christ's Hospital, where he remained from 1782 to 1789 and where he formed a lifelong friendship with St. Coleridge. Lamb was a nervous and limited child, while others were all fire and play. He stole along with all the self-consciousness of a monk. One of his school fellows gives an account of his personality: an amiable, gentle boy, very sensible and keenly observing, indulged by his school fellows and by his master on account of his infirmities of speech. His countenance was mild, his complexion clear brown, with an expression which might lead you to think he was of Jewish descent. His eyes were not both of the same color. One was hazel and other had specks of grey in the iris, mingled HBC in the red spot of the bloodstone. His step was plantigrade, which made his walk slow and peculiar. Adding to the staid appearance of his figure, I never heard his name mentioned without the addition of Charles. Although as there was no other boy of the name of Lamb, the addition was unnecessary, but there was an implied kindness and it was a proof that his gentle manners excited that kindness. One on account of his ordinary academic achievement and infirmity of speech, Lamb could not pursue his studies further. In 1792, he was appointed to a clerkship in the India Office, Leadenhall Street, which he held for 33 years, and one of his jokes was that his real works were to be found on the shelves of the East India Company. The maximum pay that ever he received in his life was 700 a year. Unfortunately, Lamb's father developed dementia and his mother became an invalid. In September 1796, his sister Mary Lamb stabbed her mother to death and wounded her father with a knife. In a fit of insanity, she was tried but acquitted on the assurance from Lamb that he would take care of her. Lamb devoted his life to her, broke off his marriage. Strangely enough, Lamb was now here in his writing mentioned this tragic incident. He remained a bachelor all his life for the sake of his sister, whom he did not like to keep in an asylum. The history of the long association between brother and sister, broken from time to time by a fresh attack of the fatal malady, is one of the most touching things in fact or fiction. Work of Charles Lamb. Apart from essay, Lamb tried his hand at poetry, drama, and criticism as well. His works may therefore be seen under the following heads. First, poetry. At his early stage, Lamb tried his hand at poetry. As early as 1798, he published Old Familiar Faces, depicting the agony of a tutored soul written in free verse. In 1803 appeared a lyrical ballad, Hester's Suite in portraiture, controlled on in emotion but pedestrian in gait. Among his other poetical works are Prince Doris, a verse story of unrequited love on an infant dying as soon as born, and she is going about Lamb's poetical genius. Sainsbury remarks Lamb's poems have occasionally an exquisite pathos and more frequently a pleasant humor, but they would not by themselves justify a very high estimate of him. But Simpson considered his verse quite uninteresting even when pleasing. Second, essay. Lamb's essay appeared in the London Magazine under the pen name of Elia. He began to write essay in 1820. The first volume of his essay was published in 1823 by Taylor and Hesse under the title Elia. About these essays, Southey remarked in the Quarterly Review as wanting only a sounder religious feeling to be as delightful as they are original. The second volume, entitled The Last Essays of Elia, was published in 1833 by Moxon. Lamb's essays, limited in number though they are exhibit infinite variety, here is good plenty. They range from the vision of beautiful children that never were to be to the drollery consequent upon old George Dyer's tumbling into the new river's tenuous trickle, from nonsensical rebellion against Beethoven Bach Mozart to the contemplation of true and false painting. Their autobiographical animation is sustained from child Elia, small and magic world of temple sundials, and fountain to the man's superannuation from his daily works of the year on year, and his sense of a dark companionship already become beckoning him away from his dear earth. It is on account of the popularity of his essay that Lamb has been given the title of the Prince of the Essayist. Third, dramatic works. In 1801, Lamb wrote a tragedy, John Vaudeville, which proved a failure as a drama and did not add to his fame as a writer. The remarkable feature in it is the successful way in which Lamb caught the manner of the Elizabethans. Southey described the plays as a delightful poetry, badly put together. An exquisite side picture in a clumsy frame in 1806 was published. Another way, Mr. H. or B. Bear, a bad name of which the subject was not substantial enough, the bad name of which the subject was not substantial enough, the bad name of which subject was not substantial enough, the Pawnbroker's Daughter, a dramatic piece in prose, and The Wife Trial or The Intruding Window, a drama in blank verse, are his other dramatic works. Fourth, miscellaneous work. Among his miscellaneous works, the most important is Tales from Shakespeare, a collection of outline talks of 21 dramas of Shakespeare, but the credit of this work goes more to Mary, who wrote 14 comedies, than the Charles Lamb, who did 6 tragedies. Specimens of English dramatic poets also offers an interesting anthology of importance, Scene of 90 Elizabethan Plays. This work gives Lamb's critical insight. In 1798, Lamb published an interesting prose romantic entitled A Tale of Rosamund Grey, Adventure of Ulysses, based on Campion's translation of Homer's Odyssey. Is a well-told narrative and was published in 1809. In this very year, he jointly published Mrs. Lee's School, or the history of several young ladies related by themselves, a collection of 10 tales for children. Of these, 7 tales were written by Mary. Chronology. 1775, Charles Lamb, born in Temple, London. 1781, sees his grandmother killed at Blackswear. 1782, enters Christ Hospital and there meets Coleridge, another new boy. 1789, leaves Christ Hospital. 1790, first employment in the office of Joseph Pace. 1791, joins the examiner's office of the South Sea Company. 1792, joins East India House, East India office, where he worked for 32 years. 1794, poetical evenings, which Coleridge meets Alice, his first and last love, which never materialized in marriage. 1795, introduction of Southey. 1796, first brief attack of insanity. 1796, Mary, his sister, kills her mother September 21 in a fit of insanity. 1798, published The Tale of Rosamund Grey. 1799, death of Lamb's father. 1802, published the tragedy John Woodville. 1804, meets Hazlitt. 1805, meets De Quincey. 1807, published Tales from Shakespeare in collaboration with his sister Mary. 1808, published Specimens of English Dramatic Poets. 1809, published Poetry for Children in collaboration with Mary. 1811, wrote his best critical essay for Leigh Hunt's Reflector. 1817, Hazlitt dedicates his characters of Shakespeare's plays to Lamb. 1818, publication of the works of Lamb in 2 volumes dedicated to Coleridge. 1821, death of his brother John Lamb. 1823, collected edition of the Essays of Elia. 1825, retires from India House on pension. 1830, published album verse. 1831, Wordsworth visits Lamb. 1833, the last essay of Elia published. 1834, death of Coleridge. 1834, death of Charles Lamb, December 27, aged 59. 1847, death of Mary Lamb. Thanks.